Chris Gardner was just like any other dreamer, ambitious, hopeful, and willing to work hard. But life had different plans. In the 1980s, he found himself homeless, struggling to survive with his young son. This is the story of a man who turned rock bottom into the foundation for his success. Chris had invested everything into selling portable bone density scanners, believing they were the future. But doctors found them unnecessary, and his savings dwindled fast. Bills piled up, and his wife, tired of the financial strain, walked out, leaving him alone with their young son, Christopher. At home, an argument between Chris and his wife escalates. His wife angrily said, "We have nothing, Chris. Nothing. I can't do this anymore." Chris desperately pleading to his wife. "Just give me time. I promise I'll fix this." Chris' wife grabs a bag and leaves. Chris holds his son tightly, tears welling up in his eyes. Chris whispering to himself, eyes filled with worry, "I have to make this work. I have no choice." With nowhere to go, Chris and his son slept in shelters, motels, and even a subway bathroom. But through all the hardships, he never let his son feel unloved or abandoned. Chris softly, to his son, "One day, we'll have a home of our own. I promise." Despite having no financial security, Chris took a life-changing risk. He applied for an unpaid stockbroker internship at Dean Witter Reynolds. He had to compete against dozens of well-dressed, well-educated candidates while having no experience, no money, and no home. He studied every night, learning the language of finance while balancing survival. He had to learn faster, work harder, and outshine every other intern, because failure was not an option. Chris knew that every second counted. He worked relentlessly, making more calls than anyone else, pushing himself beyond exhaustion. Chris softly, to his son, "I'm sorry, buddy. One more day, just one more day." Chris, now wearing a cleaner shirt, stands nervously in an office. A senior executive looks at him and smiles and said, "Chris, we'd like to offer you a full-time position. Welcome to Dean Witter." Tears well up in Chris's eyes as he nods, barely able to contain his emotions. He steps outside, looks up at the sky, and breathes in deeply, free at last. After 6 months of struggle, uncertainty, and sheer perseverance, Chris Gardner finally got the opportunity he had fought so hard for. But this was just the beginning. Chris Gardner didn't just become a stockbroker, he became a multimillionaire, an entrepreneur, and an inspiration to millions. He later founded his own brokerage firm, Gardner Rich & Company, proving that no dream is too big. Years later, Chris gives a speech to a large audience. Young entrepreneurs listen in awe as he shares his story. Chris addressed to the audience, "Don't ever let someone tell you that you can't do something. If you have a dream, protect it. Believe in it. And work for it, because it's possible. Never give up. Your dreams are worth fighting for."